Time now for some of the must-read opinion pages. New York Times columnist David French has a new piece entitled, "The MAGA Culture War Comes for Georgetown Law." And he writes in part this: "This might sound like a funny thing to say, but I've rarely read a more unconstitutional letter." On Monday, Ed Martin, the interim U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia, sent the dean of Georgetown University Law Center, a Catholic law school, a letter that said, "It has come to my attention reliably that Georgetown Law School continues to teach and promote DEI. This is unacceptable." Martin said that he'd begun an inquiry into the school and demanded to know whether it had eliminated all DEI, which he does not define, but in right-wing circles tends to refer to any action at all designed to increase diversity or honor historically marginalized people from the school and its curriculum. He also asked if DEI is found in your courses or teaching in any way. Will you move swiftly to remove it? Even a first-year law student knows that the federal government cannot dictate the viewpoint and curriculum of a private Christian school. Yet here was a federal prosecutor opening an inquiry into a Jesuit school's protected speech. Hello?
Oh, my God. And these are the same people that have constantly said, how can you interfere on a Catholic institution's ability to do what they're guided by, their moral conscience to do? And we're getting a letter to a Jesuit institution, a Christian institution, saying, you must do this, you must do that. It's unbelievable.
They may know a thing or two about the law.
This is how the dean responded. Dean Traynor, your letter informs me that your office will deny our students and graduates government employment opportunities until you, as interim United States Attorney for the District of Columbia, approve of our curriculum. Given the First Amendment's protection of a university's freedom to determine its own curriculum and how to deliver it, the constitutional violation behind this threat is clear, as is the attack on the university's mission as a Jesuit. Look up what the Jesuits believe in. A Jesuit and Catholic institution. This is unacceptable, he said.
It is.
I don't know where to begin here, John Heilemann. This is, again, as David French said, a guy who actually knows constitutional law, a constitutional lawyer, and has spent his life, his adult life, actually fighting for the rights of religious institutions. It is shocking that the interim U.S. attorney would send a letter to Georgetown saying, we are going to punish you unless you teach what we tell you to teach. Seriously, this is also, of course, the same interim U.S. attorney that decided he was going to open an investigation against the top Democrat in the United States Senate, Chuck Schumer. The list goes on and on and on. But again, anybody who knows anything about Jesuit education will tell you that the last thing Jesuits deal with are being told, you must teach in this narrowly confined area. It's really... It's shocking for that reason. It's shocking because they're doing it to a private Christian school, and it is shocking that they're doing it because of the First Amendment.
So much in this story, Joe, speaking as someone who was educated by Jesuits, it's incredible. Let's just focus on two pieces of this. One is the Ed Martin piece, right, which is not only has he opened an investigation of Chuck Schumer, you know, he posted on social media that one statement related to, I believe, the AP case the administration's anger about the AP and the press pool. And he said this thing where he said, you know, as he referred to his office as Donald Trump's lawyers, which, of course, so profoundly misunderstands the nature of what we've thought of as the jobs of U.S. attorneys and the jobs of the Justice Department. They are not Donald Trump's lawyers. They're not the president's lawyers. He has lawyers. They are the lawyers for the United States of America. So, and this is a guy, of course, as you know, the interim U.S. attorney for the Washington, D.C., who was a big defender of the January 6th rioters, someone who was a big part of the Stop the Steal movement. So there are a lot of questions to ask. He's reflective of a problem that is a profound problem going on in the administration right now related to how the Justice Department is used to pursue political ends. And that is certainly what's going on here with Georgetown. But there's a whole other piece of this that gets beyond Jesuits and goes to the way in which the administration is going after universities to pursue not just Jesuit ones and on other topics. You know, we saw over the weekend that there's 10, I believe, on the administration's watch list because they haven't done enough about anti-Semitism. So $400 million of federal grants and funding to Columbia University. Now, we can have different points of view. Anybody can argue about anti-Semitism on campus, about what has or hasn't happened at Columbia University. But I do not think that anyone who is a constitutionalist, either in the legal sense or in the philosophical sense, thinks that what we want is an administration going around from school to school and pulling their funding if those schools haven't done, quote, enough to pursue what the administration thinks is the right course of action related to speech on campus. There are real problems in that area, but the heavy hand of the federal government is clearly not the way to solve them.